Welcome to the Entrepreneur Evolution podcast. This is our Entrepreneur Express Tip episode. I'm your host, Annette Walter, and this is the place where I share weekly business tips in 5 minutes or less to help you regroup from your week and prepare to launch into next week. Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. This is Annette Walter, and I am your host of the Entrepreneur Evolution podcast. This is our 100th episode. I don't know how we got here, honestly, but we are here, and I couldn't be more excited to thank you and support you and share with you today's episode. It has been an amazing ride, honestly, and to launch a podcast in the midst of the year that we just had, along with entrepreneurs like yourself sharing their stories, has honestly been a gift. It has been awesome, and it has honestly been the gift that keeps on giving. So you are the reason why this podcast has been so successful. You are the reason why I do this, and I just honestly want to thank you so much for your support and for your comments on the sidelines, for all of your direct messages and emails and your reviews, and for subscribing. It is honestly just amazing. So I'm your host, Annette Walter. I am an operations and process expert and strategist, a business growth coach, and a growth-minded entrepreneur just like you, growing and scaling 2 businesses on the national level. And this is the place where entrepreneurs like you feel surrounded. This is a community of entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs that are growing and scaling their business so that they continue to be curious leaders and curious learners and really set out to achieve that freedom, both personally and financially, when they originally started the business, okay, with that intention in mind, okay? We are growing your wealth. We are growing your empire, okay? And this is honestly the place to do it, okay? So what we're going to do today is we are going to have a lot of fun with the 100th episode. I have in my hand, as we speak, every single episode since July 6th, when I first started the podcast in a closet. Yes, I was in a closet recording the intro. And I definitely want to post that picture on social media so you can all kind of see that before and after, or, this was how it started and this is how it's going kind of picture that's a trend on social media right now. But what we're going to do today is I really just want to take some time and recap all of the guests. So in case you missed an episode, or in case you are new to the podcast, I'm just going to outline everybody that's been on the episodes with us, so that if there's someone that I mention in an industry that I mention, or possibly in a part of the United States that I mention, you can go ahead and tag that and go check out that episode right away and start there. Okay. And secondly, I want to do this honestly to thank all of the guests that have made this podcast grow and been a big part of it. All right. So I'm going to start off with my first guest, who was Sophia Maroon. She owns Dress It Up Salad Dressing. Honestly, we were talking to her right on July 7th in the thick of summer and the thick of COVID, and what she shared about her company, and honestly, the quick shutdown of orders and inventory from a standpoint of what her company had gone through with COVID, was so honest and so real. And fast forward to today, we need to reconnect with her. I've reconnected with her outside the podcast, but what I'm doing is I'm actually inviting past guests from the podcast back to be a part of our Entrepreneur Evolution live show, which is on Tuesdays and or Thursdays at 2:00 via live social media on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook group and Facebook iEvolve page. So she is actually rocking it right now. She is tenacious. I actually just picked up a bottle of her salad dressing in the Giant down the street in Hunt Valley here in Maryland. And it is so good and so yummy. And I know it checks all of those healthy boxes that you are looking for. So check out Sophia Maroon. Then I was joined by Nikki Gleckis. She is a rock star, also in the food and beverage space. Most recently launched an amazing YouTube channel that's geared toward Mediterranean cuisine. Okay, she's Greek and Nikkiglekas. Check her out. She is awesome. And she does event planning up in the New Jersey area. She actually worked with a lot of the stadiums that had shut down up there too. So I am sure her world is insane as everything is reopening and she is catering and really trying to get yummy food to all of the fans and guests in that area. So check out Nikki. She is a rock star. She and I were actually college friends, are still college friends, and that's how we met. So she is just such an amazing, tenacious, hardworking woman. You will definitely gain so much inspiration from her. Then Wright of Wright Academics, which was so timely in the education space. We were all kind of racking our brains as to what education is going to look like for our children, for our families, for our friends. And Wright Academics is here locally. They are an executive function and specialty tutoring company in the Towson area. She's actually global now because she's been virtual and has been coaching a lot of college kids, specifically with that executive function, which is so big. I know even so many adults need help with that. And Ev is the person there. So great interview. Kim Dow, owner of SAS Magazine, to see and hear her story of the last kind of publication that was in print, and then her story of going digital through the COVID era was really cool. She was episode 7. And then I was greeted with Ella Pritzker of Face It With Style and her story and how she has transformed in the past year. She has recently launched a leisure and resort line for her clothing line that is just pure amazingness. Honestly, it looks good, it feels good, and it's everything that you want to kind of have your day flow and show up in style with everything that you do in your work world, your professional world, and in your leisure world. So make sure you check out Ella Pritzker. Then I was joined by Kathleen Bands, and Kathleen Bands owns My Cleaning Services. So she shared all about commercial cleaning and what life is looking like then and now for office space, and some really good tips to have a healthy and clean commercial space as it relates to what we are going through and what we have gone through with COVID. Next, I was joined by Sarah Koch. Sarah Koch is a young, tenacious entrepreneur. She owns SK Solutions, and she's just, she is near and dear to my heart. She does all of our graphic design and web development, and she actually works with a lot of my clients, and she just has a phenomenal story, such a kind heart, and such a giving soul that you will love that episode. And let's see, Joan Flora was a guest back in August. Joan Flora has a 20-year-old company, and she is in the landscape architecture space. So if you are in the infrastructure space, in the design space, anything that is related to landscape architecture, she has HubZone and all of the women-owned certifications. So many great shares there from Joan as it relates to that type of work and knowledge. Then I was joined by Jennifer Collins. Jennifer Collins is the owner of JDC Events, and she is an event and experience planner. So talk about all those conferences. I mean, do you remember going to the virtual conferences? Well, she was the lead person really figuring out things behind this team. Behind the scenes, her team rocked it. Honestly, the way that they responded to the way the world had changed completely was just, it was admirable. I mean, she has an amazing, amazing team and business. So I know you will love that listen. Then I was joined by Sharon Lecter on episode 21. If you are curious about financial literacy, or you are looking to learn from an author of multiple books, okay, Think and Grow Rich for Women, a lot of different books, the original Rich Dad, Poor Dad. She was affiliated with the author there, and just so many good nuggets of information from the financial literacy standpoint with Sharon Lecter. She's out of Arizona. So we have all the United States covered. Then we went to Chicago with Sandy Marcico. She owns Sandstorm, which is a digital marketing firm, and she is just amazing in the psychology of how she tracks numbers and really makes sure that entrepreneurs are making smart investment dollars based on marketing and psychology behaviors of their buyers and audiences. Really good share there. I loved that episode with Sandy. Then one of my next favorite, Lauren Ascari. She owns Alderson Loop. She is a recruitment placer in the technology and marketing space. And her company has just exploded over the past couple of years. She and I met through the Women's Presidents Organization. She's in one of the groups I facilitate. And Lauren is a rock star. She and I both are obsessed with Sarah Blakely. And we are just putting it out to the universe that we are going to have Sarah Blakely on this podcast. I just know it, I feel it, and that'll happen. So there was some really good juju there with Lauren. Let's see, then we were joined by Camille Burns, who is the CEO of the Women's Presidents Organization, a younger CEO taking over the role of a 20-year incumbent, really just stepping into a big role that she actually had grown that company from the start. She'd been there 20 years and now is running it. So such a cool story with Camille. And talk about stepping into the CEO role during a very challenging time and year. And she talks about that, and we really capture a lot of her obstacles and her honest approach to how she is weathering the storm. Then we were joined by Natalie Che, Wild Soul Jewelry. Oh, another young, tenacious entrepreneur with a beautiful product. She is just an amazing soul, and I loved that episode. Make sure you check her out. She was episode 31 in October. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can, but there was just so many good things here. Then I was joined by Rebecca Tafe. She is the owner of Red Start Creative. Rebecca is a marketing firm that focuses on supporting nonprofits and small business. Great episode there with Rebecca. Then Harry Pappas, okay, near and dear friend, owner of Rent-A-Center, former owner of Quiznos and of Krispy Kreme Donuts. If you are in the franchise world or looking to explore the franchise world, this is the episode for you to listen to. So many good nuggets of information. I encourage you to reach out to Harry if you are in that space for his knowledge and expertise and his wisdom with everything he's witnessed working with multiple types of franchise companies out there. Then we popped over to the modern pop with Julie Podolak. She has a healthy alternative to popsicles, yummy, like chocolate avocado, like yummy stuff that you like want and crave and you want your kids to eat right now. Such a good episode with her. A West Coast brand. She had recently moved to the East Coast. In fact, just popped up at the Giant in the East Coast, and has just exploded her brand recently. Then we stayed in the food and beverage space with Maggie's Fresh Salsa. Her story is amazing. Maggie Koch. She started her company honestly with nothing except an amazing recipe at I think $800. And then it was sold for hundreds of millions of dollars to Campbell's Soup. What a story there. I loved that one too. I've loved all of these. Then I was joined by Tebow Mannequin, and this was a really popular episode on the Baltimore local level. He is a purposeful and impactful developer in Maryland. He and his family have done such a wonderful job really growing, listening to people. You will love his style. You will love his approach, and just you get such good vibes from Tebow and his leadership style. He's episode 43. Make sure you take a listen to him if you were in the development space. And another great Baltimore leader, Chris Schaefer Clothier. He is just so dynamic. I've known Chris for a long time, and it was really great connecting with him. hearing about the past 10 years of the growth of his company, how COVID is treating his higher end brand, and how he is weathering the storm. So good. Then we stayed in the clothing space. We actually popped up to New York with a global brand, Lafayette 148, and Deirdre Quinn. Her clothes are so amazing, so comfortable. She was actually so grateful. She sent me this gorgeous outfit that I wore on the podcast while we did the interview. And it was just honestly like the most comfortable thing I've ever worn. I liked our conversation a lot, not only because she's had a company for, I'd say 20 plus years now, based out of New York, but it's global. So really hearing her story about how she saw China changing quickly before COVID and on the brink of COVID, and that lens, such a good story there. Then we went back to the food and beverage industry with Lois and Bob Gammerman. They own Soft Stuff food distributors, and they are like a dynamic duo, and they're always together, which I love. They're a husband-wife team. So in that conversation, we talked about what it takes to be married and work together, but also how they expounded on their brand during COVID. They did a fabulous job. Then we went to baseball with Emily Jansen. She is one of the stronger and only female general managers in the minor league baseball space. I'm used to saying minority owned business. Minor league baseball space. So such a good story there. She actually has 2 boys. She just had a little girl. So congratulations on your new baby, Emily. So fun. Then I was joined by Dino Signore out of Chicago. He is an entrepreneurial education psychologist. And, you know, if you are interested in neuroscience and any type of psychology around entrepreneurship, this is the episode for you. So good. So many good nuggets of information. I learned a lot from his conversation, and he does a lot of speaking. So if you have a foundation or you have an organization where you would like him to come in and speak on that topic, he's great. Then I was joined by Hala Taha, another amazing young entrepreneurial woman who is growing Yap Media and her podcast, Young and Profiting. If you have a podcast, she is the girl to know. She is the woman to know. She is the lady to know. She is so hardworking and knows so much about the platform of podcasting and other social media platforms, especially in the audio space like Clubhouse and the newer platform that Spotify is rolling out, Green Room, I think it's called. Great episode there. Then I was joined by Dave Cummings of Cummings & Co. Realty. He was my first coaching client at iEvolve Consulting. I'd like to thank him for sparking this business idea. And honestly, he came to me, he's like, Annette, I need operational help. Will you just sit with me and help me grow? And we did. And he had 1 location there. And now I know he's over 500 real estate agents. And I'd say maybe 10 or 12 locations in the Baltimore area. Great story there. Let's see. Then we were joined by Andrew Berger from Pain to Passion. He is an author. He is so dedicated to his mission, and such a great story of being in a family business and closing its doors, sadly, and then going into the food and beverage space, and then working on his true passion. Such a great story there. I love it. He's an amazing person, Andy Berger. And then I was joined by Jordan Amate. Okay. And she owns Base Culture, which is a gluten-free, I'd say paleo-friendly bakery company. And what I liked about her story is she was just having her 2nd child, and she just brought in a president and CEO so that she could step out of her business and not run the day-to-day, so she could really be fully present with her family. But talking about her bringing in and hiring that president to run the day-to-day. Really good episode if you're going through that transition in your business, okay? Let me see where we are. Oh my goodness. Do you believe all of this? I cannot. I can't even. Episode 62. Raquel Wilson with Versatile Assistants, Peachtree Versatile Assistants. If you are looking for really good labor right now, really good hires, Raquel is your person to call. I actually have hired 2 people, one in Timber, one in iEvolve through Peachtree. They're still with me to this day. Really great talent. And she gives so many good tidbits in that episode about process and the right process in your organization. Episode 64 actually shared my story. I was getting so many questions from you about, we want to hear about you. Okay. You do such a good job interviewing other people. Tell us about you. What is it about you that you do? And, what's your story? Then we went out to Utah with Michelle Sock, and she is another serial entrepreneur, commercial banker. She owns multiple coffee shops in the Utah area, along with gymnasiums, gymnastics. Like, think if you're in the local area, like Rebounders here. Really good story about her lens of having that banking knowledge along with the business growth spirit. So good. Then I interviewed my dad, which was amazing. The OG entrepreneur. That was episode 68. And let's see who else we had here. Jason Hisley with Cakes by Jason. He is a rock star, national brand. He's won Cupcake Wars and multiple acknowledgements on the Food Network. Great story with him there. Alex Jacobs, another local Baltimore guy, owner and founder of Coppermine. Just hearing his strategy of growing through acquiring mergers and acquisitions and real estate is so good. Then, if you are looking to learn more about intellectual property and patents, episode 76 with Amy Fazakerly with Lay and Go is the episode for you. So good. And then if you're in the government contracting space, cybersecurity and marketing, Shayna Cosgrove on episode 80. Amazing. And then nutrition, Optimize Me, Eva Sinkowski. I love her take on nutrition because she talks about adding things versus taking things away. Really good. She joined me episode 82. And then what I did is I actually was joined back with the Entrepreneur Evolution live show. I invited back Andy and a couple other people, Julie and Ev Wright, along the way to really talk about updates in their business. And that's what the live show is about. So if you haven't checked out the Entrepreneur Evolution live show, scroll through your LinkedIn feed. I'm sure I'll pop up. Leave a comment. Let me know what worked for you. If I don't know what works for you, I don't, I need your feedback. Your feedback helps me. If not, I'm just kind of talking to myself out there, and that's not fun for anybody. So tell me what works for you. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You only help me help you. And then we had Sarah Stein. Okay, Sarah Stein is so good. She launched an app while working as a rock star corporate executive in the insurance space. Her app is called Mama This. All right. So think Instacart meets your best group of girlfriends. Okay. And you're helping each other, supporting each other, and growing your network of people that can help you, but then you can also help them. Okay. Stacy Tuschel, another great episode 91. She's a bricks and mortar business out of Wisconsin and launched a very successful online digital business, foot traffic formula. She teaches entrepreneurs and small business owners how to gain more foot traffic online into their business. Amy John, oh my gosh, one of my favorites. Amy John, an educator turned entrepreneur. She bought her local gym with her husband, Andy John. Such a good story, such a good culture that she's created. She also joined me back on the live show. Such a great share there. Make sure you check out Amy John. She was just in January and we had a lot of fun with her. And then a couple of more. Carrie Wahlberg Block of Earthkind. Okay, one of my favorite stories of starting a business. Okay, a mouse ran up her leg while she was on a date. Country girl, tells this story, and, she squirted some perfume that was in her purse. And next thing you know, she's on the shelves of Lowe's and Target with a multi-million-dollar national company and brand, and also the author of a fabulous book that's not just for adults, it's for children, really young adults, college kids. So good, Gathering Around the Table. Highly recommend that episode. And Carol Soman, Dashboard and Why. She is an amazing financial institution out of New York. She uncovers profit for entrepreneurs, and she does that through dashboarding and through really simplifying numbers for entrepreneurs. So good. So make sure, look at all these amazing people. Today, I happen to be interviewing Kara Golden. She is the founder of Hint Water, HINT. She is an amazing, growing and thriving brand. So it's just so great that on the day of the 100th episode, I get to interview such an amazing entrepreneur like Kara. I cannot wait for that. But look at all of these men and women are complete rock stars. I have gained so much inspiration from them, and to be with them and for them to share their story, their honest, real story, and be vulnerable on this podcast and show up for us and for you has been just what fills my cup. It fills my soul. And honestly, I'm going to get a little teary-eyed here because it's been a lot of work. It has. But, it's really been so rewarding. It's been beyond rewarding, more rewarding than I would have ever imagined. And I hope that you all know how deeply tied I am to the work you all are doing out there as business owners. I see you, entrepreneur. I get you. I'm living the sleepless nights with you. I'm living the roller coaster ride with you. I'm living the highs. I'm living the lows. And I couldn't be more proud of you for continuing to show up, continuing to be innovative, and continuing to be courageous. So keep on doing it, entrepreneur. A gift that you could give me today, honestly, I don't ask much and I don't ask often enough, but a gift you could do for me today is to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean so much to me. The more reviews, the better it is out there in podcast land, whatever that is behind the scenes. Okay. So if you could do that, that would mean the world to me. And keep showing up, keep evolving, entrepreneur. I am so proud of you. I'm Annette Walter, signing off. Keep evolving.